Hi everybody, I'm Ranya Sandigan. I'm the leader of this group. We're going to discuss about skeletal system. Yes, this is going to be brief and thorough review about our skeletal system. If you want to know more about that, stay tuned. Alright, in our formal discussion about skeletal system, let me give you the objectives for our today's discussion. We're going to discuss about types of skeleton, skeletal division, define bone, cartilage, and the skeletal system, list and describe the function of the skeletal system, classification of bones according to shape, and we're going to have a short Q&A later on. What is skeleton? Skeleton framework that shapes and supports an animal, protects its internal organs, and allows it to move in its environment. The skeleton consists of both fused and individual bones supported and supplemented by ligaments, tendons, muscles, and cartilage. There are three types of skeleton found in nature: hydrostatic skeleton, exoskeleton, and endoskeleton. A hydrostatic skeleton, or hydro, means water, which consists of fluid constrained within a layer of flexible tissue. For example, like in the picture, consists mostly of gelatinous substance contained between two tissue layers. To swim, the animal rhythmically contracts the muscle acting on this hydrostatic skeleton, forcibly ejecting water from its body. Snails, squids, flatworms, earthworms, and nematodes also use hydrostatic skeleton in locomotion. Second, exoskeletons are on the outside of the body. Organisms with a shell, like crabs and lobsters, have these as well as insects. And the third one is the endoskeletons are internal. This is what vertebrates such as humans have. In this video, we will look at the structure and function of the human skeleton.
Hi guys, I'm Lovely Kisabandal. So our topic for today is all about human skeleton, and I will be discuss the skeletal division.
What is the skeletal system? The human skeletal system consists of all the bones, cartilage, tendons, and ligaments in the body. Altogether, the skeleton makes up about 20% of a person's body. Wait, another skeleton contains 206 bones. Children's skeleton actually contain more bones because some of them, including those of the skull, fuse together as they grow. There's some difference in the male and female skeleton. The male skeleton is usually longer as high bone mass. The female skeleton, on the other hand, has a broader pelvis to accommodate for a pregnancy and childbirth. Regardless of a major sex, skeletal system can be broken down into two parts, which will be discussed later. Alright, so we're gonna discuss about skeletal division. This is our axial and appendicular. Do you have any idea? Okay, let's proceed. When we talk about axial skeletal, I want you to think about the center of the body. Axial skeletal consists of the bones of the skull aside of the middle ear, higher bone vertebra column, and ribcage. The actual skeleton consists of 80 bones in total. This is formed by the vertebra column, which has 32 to 34 bones. The number of the vertebra differs from human to human, mind you guys. As the lower two parts, sacral and coccygeal, bone may vary and length 12 pairs of ribcage and sternal. In the skull, 22 bones and 7 associated bones. Okay, appendicular skeleton, you guys. The human appendicular skeleton is composed of the bones of the upper limbs and lower limbs, the pectoral girdle and the pelvic girdle.
So, hi, I am Tayan S. Gamel and I am grade 11 STEM A. So, now I'm going to explain what is bone, cartilage, and the skeletal system. So, let's start. Bone is the substance that forms the skeleton of the body. and it is a rigid organ that constitutes part of the vertebrate skeleton in animals. A bone is a rigid organ that constitutes part of the vertebrate skeleton in animals. Bones protect the various organs of the body, produce red and white blood cells, state minerals, provide structure and support for the body, and enable mobility. So later on, we will discuss the function. Next, what is cartilage, guys? Cartilage is the main type of connective tissue seen throughout the body. It serves a variety of structural and functional purposes and exists in different types of throughout our joints, bones, spine, lungs, and ears and nose. Cartilage is a resilient and smooth elastic tissue, a rubber-like padding that covers and protects the ends of long bones at the joints and nerves, and is a structural component of the rib cage. The ear, the nose, the bronchial tubes, the intervertebral disc, and many other body components. One of the major functions of your cartilage of prevent friction of two bones. It is like insulator, like paddings at the end of the bone. You will find their cartilage. What else? In the nose, mostly the nose and ears is consist of cartilage. Okay, so next, the skeletal system. The skeletal system is the body system composed of bones and cartilage and performs the following critical function of the human body. The human skeleton is the internal framework of the human body. It is composed around 270 bones at birth. This total decreased to around 206 bones by adulthood. After some bones get fused together, the bones mass in the skeleton reach maximum density around age 21.
Hey, it's me, Ranya Sandigan, and we're going to discuss to you about the function of the skeletal system. Let's proceed. These are the functions of the skeletal system. Supports the body, facilitates movement, protects internal organ, produces blood cells, and stores and releases mineral and fat. Support, movement, and protection. One of the major functions of our skeletal system, the most apparent function of the skeletal system are the gross function. Those visible by observation, simply by looking at a person, you can see how the bones support, facilitate movement, and protect the human body. Bones are also facilitate movement by serving as points of attachment for your muscles, while some bones only serves as a support for the muscles. Others also transmit the force produced when your muscle contract. From a mechanical point of view, bones act as levers and joints serve as fulcrums. Unless a muscle spans a joint and contracts, a bone is not going to move. What else? Bones also protect internal organs from injury by covering or surrounding them. Now, mineral storage, energy storage, and hematopoiesis. On a metabolic level, bone tissue performs several critical functions. For once, the bone matrix acts as a reservoir for a number of minerals important to the functioning of the body, especially calcium and potassium. These minerals incorporated into bone tissue. Bone also serve as a site for fat storage and blood cell production. The softer connective tissue that fills the interior of most bone is referred to as bone marrow. These are two types of bone marrow, which are yellow marrow and red marrow. As you can see in the picture, red bone marrow is a nursery for blood cells and platelets. In adults, yellow bone marrow replaces the red marrow in the marrow cavity. The fatty yellow marrow does not produce blood, okay? However, if blood cells are in short supply, yellow marrow can revert to red marrow. And yellow marrow contains adipose tissue. The triglycerides stored in the adipocytes of the tissue can serve as the source of energy. And the red marrow is where hematopoiesis, the production of blood cells, takes place. Insert. Red blood cells and white blood cells and platelets are all produced in the red marrow. What is tendon and ligament? Tendon, band of fibrous connective tissue that attaches a muscle to a bone. As you can see in the picture, tendon, another type of though connective tissue on each side of a joint attached to muscles that control movement of the joint. While ligament, band of fibrous connective tissue that connects bone to bone across a joint. Ligaments connects bones together to give support and limits the joint's movement.
Hello sir, good morning. So I am the next reporter and my topic for today is all about classification of bones according to shape. So before that, I am Almira S. Ibrahim from STEM 11A.
So, there are four major classifications of bones based on their shapes: long bones, short bones, flat bones, and irregular bones. Not every single bone in the body fits perfectly into one of these classifications, as some bones may have characteristics of two more of the classifications. Long bones are longer than they are wide, and they are mainly located in the appendicular skeleton or in the arms and legs. At each end of a long bone, a joint is formed. Long bones are important in movement and they support the weight of the body. Some examples of long bones are the femur or thigh bone, the humerus or arm bone, and the phalanges or the bones of the fingers. Short bones are usually as long as they are wide, and they are often described as being cube-shaped. Examples of short bones are the carpals of the wrist and the tarsal bones located in the ankle region. Short bones have a little movement and they provide support and stability. Flat bones are usually thin and sometimes have a curved shape to them. Flat bones protect internal organs such as the brain and heart, and many of them have broad surfaces for the attachment of muscles. Some examples of short bones are the cranial bones in the skull, the sternum, and the ribs. Regular bones vary in shape, so they do not fit into one of the three previous categories. Some irregular bones protect organs and some, such as the patella or kneecap, attached to tendons. The patella are also classified as sesamoid bones or round bones. Some sources list sesamoid bones as an irregular bone, and some sources list sesamoid bones as a fifth bone classification, and that be the basic on the types of bones in the body. Now, we will going to discuss about types of osseous or bone tissue. Now, compact bone. Compact bone is dense and looks smooth and homogeneous. We can see here, right? They are very compact and they're very smooth, meaning it's sick. Spongy bone is composed of belongedized spore like pieces of bone and lots of open spaces. So it looks like a sponge, so it is called a sponge bone because we can see that it has a hole like a SpongeBob. That's why it's called spongy bone.
And now, in this video, I want you to comment why skeleton necessary and what are its important functions.